The name of the movie is Holly Slept Over. Noel and Pete, two married men, are at the start of the story. Pete tells his friend that he and his wife can only have hanky-panky 3 times a year because of their children. Noel, on the other hand, says he is trying to enjoy their private moments while his wife is still trying to conceive. Meanwhile, Audrey, Noel's wife, tells Pete's wife that she miscarried after becoming pregnant through her ex-boyfriend, a secret that her husband was unaware of. Marn suggests that Noel might be the one having trouble becoming pregnant. Audrey responds that Noel is a great spouse and that she is sure he would make a fantastic parent. Mary responds that he might if he didn't have infertility issues. Back to the men's chat, Pete acknowledges the wrongdoing he committed the previous evening when, with little else to do, he began wriggling his joystick next to his sleeping wife and dousing her in mayonnaise. Noel is surprised by AB and questions why Pete won't speak with Marn informally. After a passionate conversation, Noel offers to watch Pete's kids because he wants Pete and Marn to spend time together without the kids getting in the way. When Audrey hears this unexpected suggestion, they both realize that Pete and Marn's marriage has problems. Pete feels helpless in his marriage, which is why he is acting so dramatic that evening. Hits bottom line: while Marn is sleeping, Pete is up watching a movie. Pete checks on her and confirms that she is totally unconscious. Pete is back, dousing Marn in mayonnaise. One day, Audrey gets an unexpected message from Holly, her old college roommate. Holly says she's in the area and would love to get together. Audrey is shocked to get the message because she hasn't spoken to Holly in nearly a decade. Noel assumed that Audrey and Holly were miscommunicating, but he was taken aback when they went for their morning jog. Pete tells Noel that he finds it difficult to give up his strange obsession with his wife. He rationalizes this by saying that it is preferable than cheating on Marnie and that it has even somewhat strengthened their marriage. For Noel and Audra, having a child is a major pressure. Noel suggests they take a weekend trip to decompress. Audrey consents to this but tells Noel that although she has granted Holly's request and extended an invitation for the weekend, Audrey is struggling with something. In the middle of the night, Audrey wakes Noel up to reveal to him the truth, that she and Holly were more than just roommates. When Audrey admits to having slept with her best friend, Noel is shocked because he thought his wife was a traditionalist. Noel is curious and wants to know the details of their flame, but Audrey is reluctant to give more details. Now that he's having a restless night, Noel informs Pete about his wife's revelation during their morning jog. Pete finds this fascinating and suggests that Noel push Audra over her comfort zone the next day. While the men are preparing dinner, Pete decides to stalk Holly's Instagram account and comments on how hot she is. Audrey mentions that she knows her secret is already out. Noel tells Pete that he still finds it difficult to imagine Audra with Holly. Pete suggests that Noel ask Audra for a 3 explaining that couples should explore things before having children. Audra phones Marn and tells her about her confession to Noel, but it seems that Marn already knew as Pete told her about it later that day. For a number of reasons, Noel rejects the idea, but Pete convinces him to give it some thought. The day Holly is scheduled to visit, Noel finds his wife awake and trying to unwind in the bathtub when the doorbell rings, startling Audrey. When Noel opens the door, she is taken aback to see Holly there sooner than expected. When Noel first meets Holly, he is struck by how beautiful she is. Holly asks to take a small nap and a fast shower to revive herself. Noel helps her carry her bag and shows her how to get to the guest room. After being apart for a few years, Audrey is nervous about Holly's visit because she wants to make a good impression. Noel had made a lovely welcome food. Holly sleeps in later than usual, which makes them nervous. The tension thrills Audrey, who is ready to have an intimate moment with her husband, but Noel worries since Holly is only a short distance away after a protracted wait. When Audrey and Holly finally sit down at the table together, Noel can't help but stare at them as they try to strike up a conversation. Eventually, he can't contain himself and blurts out that he knows about Audrey and Holly's intimate relationship in college. While Holly takes it easy, Audrey is mortified and ready to call in a night. Audrey chooses to wake Holly after years of being apart. Here, they meet for the first time. Audrey's memories flow back as she glances at Holly. Holly is happy to see her and requests an embrace. She runs a company that makes cookies with married people on them, and she has some samples for them to try. Audrey is hesitant to eat the treats and chooses to wash the dishes, leaving Noel and Holly together. Noel decides to check on Audrey in the kitchen and informs her that she was a little rude to the guest. His wife explains how Holly causes things to get out of control, and Noel responds that maybe it's good for their marriage. Noel then heads back to the living room where he sees Holly dancing and she invites him to join her. The man then decides to ask their guest about the idea of a three-way party, but she quickly retracts that they should. Holly tells Noel to just relax and let things happen as he is overanalyzing how to convince Audra to accept the proposal. Naturally, Audrey interrupts them. Noel explains that they are just discussing taxes when Holly abruptly blurts out that her husband wants a three-way party. Audrey is confused and feels cheated because Noel spoke with Holly about something so personal first. Noel then speaks with his wife, telling her that perhaps this is their chance to become adventurers before having children. Audrey doesn't think the idea is good, so she tells her husband to tell Holly that they won't be doing that. Holly is then confronted by Noel for going against their goal to let everything flow. When Audrey joins them in the living room and mentions the three-way party again, the husband naturally says that their party plan is off because his wife doesn't want to, but he still thinks that Audrey is into it. Holly responds that it is pretty obvious how attracted they are to each other, and she then tells Audrey to be honest with herself for once and asks her how much does she want it to happen. Audrey says she's done talking about it and settles in to sample one of her miracle cookies. Audrey is hesitant to go swimming, but Noel forces her into the water, and then she jumps to join the ladies right after they later warm up by the fireplace eating cookies and getting baked. Audrey is the first to initiate the party by making out with her best friend. Noel becomes concerned as his wife takes a big bite, but then the tension in Audrey's mind is starting to subside and the three are enjoying a relaxed evening. They decide to unwind outside where the two best friends reminisce about their adventures together. Things are heating up when they hear an urgent tap on the door. When Noel offers to check in, she is shocked to see Marn griping about having seen Pete slather her in mayonnaise while she was sleeping. Pete tells Noel that his wife is wanting a divorce, and his best friend advises them to talk it out. As Aud consoles her friend, the men enter, and Marn begins to curse her husband. Pete rationalizes his actions by saying that his marriage makes him feel weak and aimless. Noel remarks that their night seems to have been ruined, but Holly feels differently, arguing that they weren't part of the couple's problem so it shouldn't affect them. Marn says that he should have asked her because she might have liked it, but when Pete asks if she likes it, Marn angrily says no and storms off. When Noel gives in, Holly begins seeing his wife. Audrey queries if they will continue, and her husband responds in the affirmative. With a simple smile, they head to the bed and begin the celebration. After that, Noel brings in some water and says he had fun. Holly says she's done it a few times and believes the couple did a fantastic job. Audra, who is beginning to sober up, acknowledges that their actions were incorrect. She admits that she was in love with Holly when she was a college student. Noel is shocked by this revelation and tells her that she should have told him before the three of them did it. He was afraid that he would offend his wife, but it turns out that he should be the one to become envious in order to exacerbate the situation. Noel informs his wife that she can't just walk out on him and become a lesbian, but Audrey reassures him that she won't do it. Holly admits that she was also in love with Audra, feeling left out. The two women continue to text back and forth, and eventually Noel asks Holly if she prefers him. In an attempt to defuse the tension, Holly leaves the room, but not before kissing Audrey. Audrey then tells her husband that she became pregnant in high school, a secret she kept from him for fear that he would think he was having problems with reproduction. However, the husband says he saw a doctor and his sperm is fine, so it would still happen at the appropriate time. The following day, Holly gets ready breakfast for the now appearing happy couple. She then says goodbye to them, and as she offers them a hug, Audrey gives her another kiss, startling Noel. While the ladies are conversing, we can see that the couple's hope has finally come true as Audrey is already expecting their child. 6 months later, Pete confides in Noel that their marriage therapy was successful and that it really improved his relationship with Marn.